पुलक शरीरा
हरि
हरि हरि बोलिते नयने बाबेला
नेक्स्ट भजन
আর কবে নিতাই চাঁদ করুণা করিবে সংসার বাসন আমার কবে তুচ্ছ হবে সংসার বাসনা আমার কবে তুচ্ছ হবে বিষয় ছাড়িয়া কবে শুদ্ধ হবে মন সংসার বাস কবে হাম হেরাব শ্রী বৃন্দাবন কবে হাম হেরাব শ্রী বৃন্দাবন উপর রঘুনাথ পদে হইবে আকুতি কবে হাম বুঝাবো সে যুগল প্রীতি রূপ রঘুনাথ পদে হইবে আকুতি কবে হাম বুঝাবো সে যুগল প্রীতি রূপ রঘুনাথ পদে রহুমর আশা প্রার্থনা কর এ সদা নরোত্তম দাস রূপ রঘুনাথ পদে হইবে আকুতি কবে প্রার্থনা কর এ সদা নরোত্তম দাস গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলক শরীর হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে বদনে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে জয় সচ্চিদানন্দন গৌর হরি জয় সচ্চিদানন্দন গৌর হরি বিষ্ণু প্রিয়া প্রাণধন গৌর হরি অনদিয়া বিহারী জয় গৌর হরি পতিত পাবন গৌর হরে পতিত পাবন গৌর হরে জয় সচ্চিদানন্দন জয় সচ্চিদানন্দন জয় সচ্চিদানন্দন গৌর গৌর হরি জয় গৌর হরি গৌর হরি জয় গৌর হরি Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Shri Guru Gandhari Shri Hari Shri Radha Gopinath Shri Radha Govinda Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji ki jai. Jagannatha Vishnu Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरिराज गोवर्धन श्री नाम धाम की जय। श्री सर्वदामोदर रायरमन सिक्किमाजी गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल। So this song was sung by Narottam Das Thakur also. Thakur, a great devotee and acharya in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, disciple succession. Coming down from Lord Chaitanya, Narottam Das Thakur has written many songs which are recognized as authoritative by all Vaishnava. He has sung these songs in simple Bengali language, but the purport, the deep meaning of the songs is very significant. In this song, he says, Goranga bolite have pulaka sharir. One has to attain the perfection of chanting when, as soon as he chants the name of Lord Goranga, who initiated this Sankirtan movement, at once there is a shivering in his body. When will that appropriate movement come? To Thakur is asking, when will that opportunity moment come for us when there will be a shivering of the body as soon as we chant the Lord Gauranga's name? Gauranga. And after the shivering, Hari Hari Bolite Nayone Bhaveni. While chanting Hare Krishna, there will be tears in eyes. Then he says, Ar Kabe Nita Chat Karuna Hoibe. When we are all asking about the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Nityananda is said to be the original spiritual master, so we have to approach Gauranga Lord Chaitanya through the mercy of Lord Nityananda. This is a long purpose there. This is the song sung by Narottam Das Thakur, glorifying the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll be reading seventh chapter of the uh, this is written by Vrindavan Das Thakur, Chaitanya Bhagavat. We'll hear a little bit of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's still pastimes in Gaura Lila. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was doing his pastimes in Gauranga, Gaura Mandala, or in Navadvip, he was known as Nimai. Uh, and when he was doing his pastimes in Jagannath Puri, another place, he was known as uh, Gauranga or Chaitanya. But in Navadvip, he was famous by the name Nimai. Uh, until he took sannyas, he was very much known by everyone as Nimai. Nobody knew his name as Chaitanya or Gauranga. Only after he took sannyas in Katua. Have you ever been to Katua? Who has been to Katua? Can you reply to me? Can you answer? Any devotee has been to Katua in Nadia in a Gaura Mandala Bhumi? So Katua is the place where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. He shaved his hair and took sannyas from Ishwarapuri. And he was very famous, known as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Vrindavan Das Thakur is giving us details about the childhood pastimes of Chaitanya of Nimai, of Gaurahari. So here we say, he's saying, Jaya Jaya Maha Maheshwara Gaura Chandra, Jaya Jaya Vishwambhara Priya Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jagannath Sachiputra Sarva Pran, Kripadishta Kara Prabhu Sarva Jive Tran, Anamate Navadipe Sri Gaura Sundara, Balla Lila Chale Kare Prakasha Vistar. নিরন্তর চপলতা করে সারা সবাসনে মায়ে শিখাইলো প্রবোধ নাহি মানে শিখাইলে আরো হয় দ্বিগুণ চঞ্চল গৃহে যাহা পায় তাহা ভাঙে সকল ভয়ে আর কিছু না বলে বলে বাপ মায়া মাই স্বচ্ছন্দ পরমানন্দে খেলায় লীলায় স্বচ্ছন্দে পরমানন্দে খেলায় লীলায় আদিকাণ্ড কথা জেনে অমৃত শ্রবণ জহি শিশুরূপে ক্রীড়া করে নারায়ণ পিতা মাতা কাহারে না করে প্রভু ভয় বিশ্বরূপ অগ্রজ দেখিলে নম্র হয় প্রভুর অগ্রজ বিশ্বরূপ ভগবান আজন্ম বিরক্ত সর্বগুণে নিধান সর্বশাস্ত্রে সবে বাখানেন বিষ্ণু ভক্তি পণ্ডিতে তাহার ব্যাখ্যা নাহিকার শক্তি শ্রবণে বদনে মনে সর্বেন্দ্রিয় গণে কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি বিনয় আর না বলে না শুনে অনুজেরে দেখি অতি বিলক্ষণ ঈশ্বর মনে গণে হইয়া বিস্মে এক বালক কবু নহে প্রাকৃত সওয়াল রূপে আচরণে যেন শ্রী বালগোপাল যত অমানুষী কর্ম নিরবধি করে এই বুঝি খেলেন কৃষ্ণ শিশু শরীরে এই মত চিন্ত বিশ্বরূপ মহাশয় কাহারে না ভঙ্গে তত্ত্ব সকর্ম করয় নিরবধি থাকে সর্ব বৈষ্ণবের সঙ্গে কৃষ্ণ কথা কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি কৃষ্ণ পূজারঙ্গে জগৎ প্রমত্ত ধনপুত্র বিদ্যার সে বৈষ্ণব দেখিলেন মাত্র সবে উপহাসে আর্য তার্য পরে সব বৈষ্ণব দেখিয়া যতি সতী তপস্বী খাইবে মরিয়া মারিয়া তারে বলি সুকৃতি যে দোলা ঘোরাচ্ছরে 10-20 জন যার আগে পাছে পরে গবে এত যে গোসাই ভাবে কর ক্রন্দন এত যে গোসাই ভাবে কর ক্রন্দন তবু তো দরিদ্র দুঃখ না হয় খণ্ডন ঘন ঘন হরি হরি বলি ছাড় রাগ ক্রুদ্ধ হয়ে গোসাই শুনিলে বড় ডাক এই মতো বলে কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি শূন্য জনে শুনি মহা দুঃখ পায় ভাগবত গণে কোথাও নাও শুনে কেহ কৃষ্ণর কীর্তন দগ্ধ দেখে সকল সংসার অনুক্ষণ দুঃখ বড় পায় বিশ্বরূপ ভগবান না শুনি অবিষ্ট কৃষ্ণচন্দ্রের আখ্যান গীতা ভাগবত যে যে জানে বা বলে কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি ব্যাখ্যা করো নাই সে জিহ্বায়, কুতর্ক ঘুষিয়া সব অধ্যাপক মরে, ভক্তিহীন নাম নাহি জানই সংসারে। অদ্বৈত আচার্য আদি যত ভক্তগণ, জীবের কুমতি দেখি করে ক্রন্দন। দুঃখে বিশ্বরূপ প্রভু মনে মনে গণে, না দেখি লোকমুখ চলি যাং বলে। উষকালে বিশ্বরূপ করি গঙ্গা স্নান, অদ্বৈত সভায় আসি হয় উপস্থান। সর্বশাস্ত্রে ব্যাখ্যা নেন কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি সার, শুনিয়া অদ্বৈত সুখে করেন হুঙ্কার। পূজাচারী বিশ্বরূপ ধরি করে কোলে, আনন্দে বৈষ্ণব সব হরি হরি বলে। কৃষ্ণানন্দে ভক্তগণ করে সিংহনাদ, কারো চিত্তে আর নাহি স্ফুরে বিষাদ। বিশ্বরূপ ছাড়ি গ্রহ নাহি যায় ঘরে, বিশ্বরূপ নাই সে আপন মন্দিরে। বন্দন করিয়া সচি বলে বিশ্বম্ভর, তোমার অগ্রজ গিয়া অনেক অনেক আন সত্তরে। মায়ের আদেশে প্রভু অদ্বৈত সভায়, আইসেন অগ্রজের বাল ছলায়। আসিয়া দেখেন প্রভু বৈষ্ণব মন্ডল, জন্য হন্য করেন কৃষ্ণ কথন মঙ্গল। আপন প্রভাত আপন আপন প্রস্তাব শুনি শ্রী গৌর সুন্দর, সবারে কয়েন শুভ দৃষ্টি মনোহর। প্রতি অঙ্গে নিরূপম লাবণ্যের সীমা, কোটি চন্দ্র নহি এক নখরে উপমা। দিগম্বর সর্বাঙ্গ ধুলায় ধূসর, আসিয়া অগ্রযোগ প্রতি করেন উত্তর। ভোজনে আইসে ভাই ডাকে জননী, অগ্রজ বসন ধরি চলে আপনি। দেখি সে মোহন রূপ সর্বভক্তগণ, স্থগিত হইয়া সবে করেন নিরীক্ষণ। জয় জয় মহাপ্রভু মহেশ্বর গৌরচন্দ্র, জয় জয় বিশ্বম্ভর প্রিয় ভক্ত বৃন্দ। জয় জগন্নাথ সচিপুত্র সর্বনা প্রাণ, কৃপা দৃষ্ট করে প্রভু সর্বজীবের ত্রাণ। He said, Jai Jai, all glories to Maheshwar, all glories to all providing Sri Gaura Chandra, all glories to the Chaitanya who is very dear to his devotee, all glories to Shachi Mata, all glories to Jagannath Mishra, who has given a birth to Nimai. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having his Balya Lila. Balya Lila means childhood pastimes in Navadvip. And from his childhood, he was teaching the people how to chant Hare Krishna. Different means, by crying, by something. Sometimes he would just loudly cry and he won't stop crying, and but he would make them chant Hare Krishna and then he would stop crying. Sometimes he wants to go to the other devotee's lap, and suppose the other person didn't, he would cry and go to their lap, and if they didn't chant Hare Krishna, he would again cry there. And when they would chant, they would stop crying. This he would making everybody chant Hare Krishna. But he was a chapalata. Chapalata means he was a little naughty, like Krishna in Vrindavan. And sometimes mother used to teach him Sometimes mothers and fathers chastise Nimai, but he wouldn't listen to his parents. Even mothers to teach very hard, but Nimai wouldn't learn from her. And and if Mother Shakti would continue to teach, then Nimai would get more mad and he would do more notorious. At the point that he would break things in the home, he would break the pot, you know, and he would do many notorious activities. And they were afraid, so they wouldn't say anything to Nimai. This is father and mother, because Nimai was getting mad, so he would this after some time the father and mother stopped telling him. They would not instruct him anything more. They just kept quiet. But when Mahaprabhu used to come in front of Vishwarup, he would become a little humble and he would take a very humble position and and he would pretend himself that he's very much recipient of elderly people's request. He was very much learning also Vishnu Bhakti, and not only that, he was also teaching Vishnu Bhakti to others. And you don't understand the qualities of Nimai, very hard to describe. Even if you describe with all your heart, with all your mind, still there is never end to the wonderful qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nimai's elder brother Vishnu, he was very much dedicated to the bhakti and he was not interested hearing anything mundane. He was always aloof from mundane things, and he was always thinking about Krishna's mind. And in this, he would be very happy internally, Vishnu. And he also said that this balaka, this child, Nimai, he's not an ordinary balaka, he's not an ordinary child. He's something supernatural, beyond our understanding. And look like he's a Sakshat Bala Gopal. He's Sakshat Bala Gopal deities of Jagannath Mishra. Jagannath Mishra is worshipping Bala Gopal. In the beginning, Mahaprabhu, uh, sometimes he would, uh, you know, make fun of the Vaishnavas. Before he took sannyas, he used to make fun of the devotees. He used to laugh at them, what you guys are doing. But after taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu, after he went to Gaya and renounced his family life, he became more known to the people and and he was worshipped by the people. And plus, uh, nobody was criticizing him for his duty that he has done for the welfare of the human society. Everybody liked that Nimai took sannyas. He, and they know that Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, Nimai, he would do something for the others. That's why they were happy. And Vishwarup, he is also a great devotee of the Lord. He was Nirobodhi Thakisha and he was always constantly associating with Vaishnavas. And while he's associating, being with Vaishnava, he was always discussing Krishna Katha, topics about Krishna. He was discussing about Krishna Bhakti and how to worship Krishna. In this way, he was always engaged in the service of Lord. So Vishwarup was also elder brother and he had many pastimes with Vishwarup also Mahaprabhu before he left for sannyas. In fact, actually, Vishwarup took sannyas, Mahaprabhu's elder brother. That Vishwarup actually inspired Mahaprabhu to take sannyas also. Other, he was a householder. He was staying with his wife, Vishnupriya Devi, and he was taking care of his mother. He was doing very wonderful. But he saw his elder brother took sannyas and renounced everything. Uh, so then Mahaprabhu also dived into take sannyas. Later on, he took also sannyas and left the family also. So Jagannath Mission Sachimata actually didn't want Mahaprabhu to go to school, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to school because he thought that if he go to school and become educated, then slowly he will give up the family life and then he will also become another one like Vishwarup, like his elder brother. Then they were thinking, we are getting old, who's going to take care of us? So they were thinking like that. But Mahaprabhu is omnipotential personality. He didn't care. He, for the welfare of the activities, he gave up his old widow mother, Sachimata, and his young, beautiful wife, uh, family, everything, just for the welfare of the other living entities. Because sannyas is important to take sannyas, because by sannyas order you can really focus on the topics of Krishna and preach Krishna consciousness very vigorously. This is only possible for the mukti atma, mukta atmas, those who are liberated soul. Other people cannot do it. অতি অঙ্গে নিরূপম লাবণ্যের সীমা কোটি চন্দন হি এক নক্ষের উপমা দিগম্বর সর্বাঙ্গ দুলায়া তুষার হাসিয়া অগ্রজপতি করিলেন উদ্ধার। তিনি আইসে ভাই তাকে জননী চন্দ্রিয়া সে মৌন সমাধির প্রায় আইছেন ভক্ত গণে কৃষ্ণের কথন কারু নয়া শিবধনে প্রভু দিগ ভক্ত মোহ স্বভাবে হয় বিনা অনুভবে তাসির চিত্ত লয়। Another topic about Mahaprabhu that he always loved his devotee. He never forgets his devotee. Uh, so the karmis they don't want to utter the names of Krishna very well. The devotees when they chant Hare Krishna through their lips, through their tongue, it really energizes by the Krishna, by Krishna, that devotee. Because chanting Hare Krishna, when you purely you chant, actually you can feel the presence of Krishna in that chant. শিশু সঙ্গে গৃহে গৃহে ক্রীড়া করে বলে জন্ম হইতে প্রভুর সকল ঘটিগণ ये पुत्र हईते स्नेह करे माने यद्यपीश्वर बुद्धि न जाने कृष्ण रे. In this way, Mahaprabhu he was having his pastimes in Navadvip. There are many pastimes. Uh, he was a little naughty at young age. His mother tried to control Nimai, but sometimes she could do it, sometimes she couldn't do it. Play. So he was doing his job. But Mahaprabhu really inside heart he was thinking how to expand this Krishna consciousness. This was his mood. He took all the difficulties. He left his young beautiful wife. He left his widow mothers. He didn't know who's going to even take care of them when he leaves. But because of the welfare of the other living entity, Mahaprabhu did all this sannyas order of life and in a very young age just to give mercy to the other people. You can think how much Lord has sacrificed to distribute this love of Godhead to other people. He gave up everything. So Sri Chaitanya Caritamrita is a beautiful topics about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Because it gives the mellows of spirituality. Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of mellows, full of spiritual, you know, enlightenment. Uh, and it talks so much about love and affection with Krishna and his devotees. So, we read from the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, our daily routine. We're going to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 4. We will start from text 108. राधिकार भाव जैसे उद्धव दर्शने সেই ভাবে মত্ত প্রভু রহে রাত্রে দিনে. Just as Radhika went mad at the sight of Uddhava, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was uh, obsessed day and night with the madness of separation. So Srimati Radharani, she used to also become uh, Radharani, she used to also become mad sometimes for Krishna, and sometimes she would mistake Uddhava as Krishna because Uddhava looks like Krishna. Uddhava has the same complexion like Krishna. Sometimes devotees can make mistake whether this is Krishna or the other one is Krishna. Uh, so it happened for Srimati Radharani also. Radharani believed that Uddhava was Krishna because Uddhava looked like Krishna. He had the same feature like Krishna. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was obsessed day and night with the madness of separation. Actually, Mahaprabhu, when he was staying in Gambhira, he was always hearing this Uddhava Gita. He was hearing all the time this Uddhava Gita. There is Bhagavad Gita and there is Uddhava Gita. Uddhava Gita is all glories of Krishna, intimate glories of Krishna, glorified by Uddhava. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always, whether in the day, whether in the night, he was always observed in the madness and separation from Krishna. Sometimes he'd get mad, sometimes he'd be in separation from Krishna. Described. purport by Srila Prabhupada, those under the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can understand that his mode of worship of the Supreme Lord Krishna in separation is the real worship of the Lord. So this is another very big statement by Prabhupada that when a devotee serves Krishna in separation, Krishna enjoys the service more than a person who is not serving Krishna from separation. Uh, it brings more intense. It brings the relationship become more bellows. It becomes, it brings the intimacy more closer also. So under the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can understand that his mode of worship of the Supreme Lord. Under the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can understand that his mode of worship of the Supreme Lord Krishna in separation is the real worship of the Lord. So one must try to practice serving Krishna in the separation mode. Uh, it's very important that we serve Krishna in separation, especially those who are high advanced devotee. They should try to learn how to serve Krishna in separation. We may not be able to have all the time association with Krishna or his pure devotee or our spiritual master because they have different duties. They have to go to some other planet or something, They may not, he might leave us. Uh, but we have to follow his instruction. We have to follow the instruction of the Guru. So, so when the feeling of separation become very intense, one attains the seas of Krishna. So sometimes we like to meet Krishna, but your desire is very intense. That is not the other. When the feeling of separation becomes very intense, one attains the seas of meeting Krishna. Your desire has to be very intense. The Lord, I have to see you, I have to meet you. And you have to follow the guidelines of Shastra. And then, and if you are praying for Krishna, then Krishna will surely see you. That's Krishna being associated with devotees. When the feeling of separation becomes very intense, one attains the stage of meeting Krishna. When the intensity is there, the meeting Krishna becomes very, there are devotees who are actually looking to intensify with Krishna. They want to meet Krishna, but that desire has to be very sincere. That desire has to be very pure. And you should have a very strong conviction and fix.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, your voice is very low, so devotees can't hear. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry to disturb you, Prabhuji.
so this way, Mahaprabhu, uh, he was showing his very strong intensity for Krishna. We all have that intensity in our heart, but we have to revive it with chanting the holy name of Krishna. And that is called pure love. The love of God is there in everyone's heart. It is sometimes in Supta and sometimes in a liberated stage. When devotees are not pure, when they are not liberated, then this Krishna prema in the heart it is covered, not risen yet. But when we practice bhakti and bhakti with full intensity, and without offense, then that same Krishna bhakti which is there in our heart, it will it will come out, and you can feel the pressure of Krishna consciousness. But serving Krishna in separation is also very important. Uh, I know everyone wants to serve the spiritual master by going nearby him. Uh, Nobody wants to serve spiritual master staying far away, but the devotees who are very dedicated to the service of the spiritual master, whatever spiritual master tells you, you do that. Whether you stay, if he tells you, okay, you have to go build a temple in Rome, then you go there. You build a temple in the order of your spiritual master, and you'll be successful. So when you become more advanced, then you are looking sincerely about the service of the Lord. Uh, Nobody has to tell you when to serve, when to wake up. Like right now, if some we have some devotees in the temple, then we have to call them, we have to knock their door or make big sound to wake them up for Mangalarati in the morning. But if you are advanced and if you have a strong desire to go Mangalarati, nobody has to even wake you up. You can set up something, you will find a way how to wake up on time. Mm. So, because he has that strong desire that now I'm going to come to Mangalarati every day. Uh, I know if I come to Mangalarati every day, I'll advance myself. It's good for my spiritual life and it's good for my spiritual strength. So he's going to come. Uh, but those devotees who are a little slackened in their bhakti and their bhakti is not going up, so sometimes they may not even come, or sometimes even they may not even try in that level. So serving Krishna in separation mode is very important because if you serve Krishna in separation mode, that enjoyment has got more stronger strongness. So you see, many devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even if you see Prabhupada, many of his disciples never met Prabhupada, but still there's just listening to their God brothers or by listening from other scriptures, uh, they survived. They served Prabhupada and they survived. They didn't have to worry. They got so much help. Some devotees were sent like that. One day Prabhupada was traveling by train and he told Hanuman that he went down here and go and preach. That was in Vishakhapatnam somewhere. Prabhupada said, you get down. He got down. He didn't know where to go even. Now, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, he has built a beautiful temple in Madras, in Tamil Nadu. How? Because he carefully he took the instructions of his spiritual masters, carefully, took it very serious. It may take some time, but if you take the spiritual master instructions seriously, it will fructify one day. Today or tomorrow, just have to give it time. The transcendental affairs can be understood on two platforms. One is called elevated and the other is called super elevated. The loving affairs exhibited in Dwarka are the elevated forms. The super elevated position of is reached in the manifestation of the pastimes of Vrindavan. The attitude of Lord Chaitanya is certainly super elevated. From the life of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, an intelligent person engaged in pure devotional service can understand that he was he always felt separation from Krishna within himself. In that separation, he sometimes felt that he had found Krishna and was enjoying the meeting. The significance of this separation and meeting is very specific. If someone tries to understand the exalted position of Lord Chaitanya without knowing this, and he is sure to misunderstand it. One must first become fully self-realized, otherwise one may misidentify the Lord as Nagara, Nagara or the enjoyer of the themselves of Braja, the committing the mistake of Rashabhasha or overlapping understanding. So from the life of the teachings of the intelligent person engaged in pure devotion service can understand that he always felt separation from Krishna. Mahaprabhu always felt separation, that is true. Wherever he went, he was always looking for Krishna. He did not look into any material things in this world. He has nothing to achieve. He has everything. But he was uh, looking whenever he was going any place. He was looking for Vrindavan. He was looking for Mathura. He was looking for Krishna. He was looking for Krishna's beautiful smile. He was looking for Krishna's beautiful flute. Uh, he was always crying and begging, "Where is my Krishna? Why I cannot see him? Where did he go?" And he was always crying. Mahaprabhu, later days, Mahaprabhu, when he was about to leave this world, before that, Mahaprabhu was really crying for Krishna. Sometimes he just, nobody had to say anything. He would wake up very, very early when everybody is asleep and he would leave the home and he would try to look for Krishna in the forest. Like Vidya Vachaspati, one of the great devotees, Chaitanya, he wrote a very beautiful song. Uh, আজগো কি কাহাবরে সখী আনন্দয় যদিন মাধব মন্দিরে পাপ সুধা কর যত দুঃখ দেল প্রিয় মুখ দর্শনে তত সুখ ভেল আজগো কি কহবরে সখী আনন্দয় চিরদিন মাধব মন্দিরে পাপ সুধা কর যত দুঃখ দেল প্রিয় মুখ দর্শনে তত সুখ ভেল ঘনয়ে বিদ্যাপতি শুনো বরনারী সুজন দিব শুধু চারি আজি গো কি কহবরে সখী আনন্দয় চিরদিন মাধব মন্দিরে So Mahaprabhu, when he would wake up at middle of the night and he would ran from the house and he would go inside the forest, great separation from Krishna. He was looking for Krishna and he was beautifully singing these verses from Vidya Vachaspati. Ajogo ki kahabore Sakhi Anandayo. Hey Sakhi, today is so great Ananda day. It is a great pleasure day. Uh, I am looking for my darling Krishna. Where he has gone? আজগ কি কহবরে সখী আনন্দ য়োর চিরদিন মাধব মন্দিরে. Let me always be at the temple of Madhava. Chirodina Madhava Mandir. Papa Shuddha Karo. Uh, by seeing your beauty, uh, my all sin will be evaporated. All my sin will be destroyed. Uh, you give me as much as misery you want, but by seeing you, I will derive great pleasure. But do not send me away. Do not send me far away. Me, keep me at nearby you. Do not send me far away. I have nothing to give you. I can only simply pray to you. Uh, in this way, you would cry. Sometimes you'd fall in the ground and just look for Krishna. So this was Mahaprabhu. He showed how to serve Krishna in separation. And this is important. Uh, sometimes we disciples of our gurus, we want to serve our spiritual master from close distance, from nearest distance. Sometimes we don't get that opportunity. All the disciples don't get that opportunity to be always with the spiritual master, serving him, always uh, conversating with him. Uh, may not be that opportunity, may not be there for all the disciples. But we have that desire to serve our spiritual master uh, from from the closest we can. Uh, but everybody may not get that opportunity. But we serve the instruction of the spiritual master uh, on separation. There are many Prabhupada disciples that did not see in Prabhupada. They got initiation through the mail, uh, through the media, or through some other devotee. Uh, they didn't have any personal contact with Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada just send the names by mail and they will get the names. Somebody do it the fire sacrifice, they will get the name. The disciple will remain to Prabhupada. They become disciples of Prabhupada. Hmm. So some of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they did not have much association with Prabhupada. And some did they have, but some didn't. But it's equal still because if you have served the instruction of the spiritual master, there's no difference in serving spiritual master from the uh, nearby and serving spiritual master from the far distance. If you take his instruction, if you serve his instruction, if you serve his instruction, you are. Whether it's more important to serve the instruction of the spiritual master than the Bhakti Seva, uh, than the physical service to the spiritual master. Because the spiritual master leaves this world, then you get bewildered, you don't know what to do. But if you're serving Bani of the spiritual master, you know what to do. You already are faithful, you don't know what to do. You're not going to just leave everything and just go away because the spiritual master left this world. No. You're going to continue. You're going to continue with the service and you try to serve. And as long as you leave, you try to serve your spiritual master. Haridas Thakur, he left before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left because he told Mahaprabhu that I won't be able to bear the separation of your living from this world. So please let me go before you go, and I will arrange everything for you in the spiritual world. Mahaprabhu was annoying this. He said, no, how can you live, Haridas? You are the Acharya of the holy name. Without you, how people are going to even breathe? You are such a great Mahatma, great soul. So please uh, stay back. Don't go. Uh, but he kept on insisting, "You have to let me go." Because my body cannot take the separation of you living this world. So I want to leave before you leave. Then after a long conversation, Mahaprabhu agreed, okay, that is your desire, then let that be happen. So then Mahaprabhu agreed that Haridas Thakur will leave his body before he leaves. By touching the feet of Mahaprabhu and by touching Mahaprabhu, by seeing the face of Mahaprabhu, it's a wonderful departure Haridas Thakur had. The Mahaprabhu, he was holding the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu and left in separation. So serving Krishna in separation is very important for the devotees also. Rather the gopis in Vrindavan for 100 years they served Krishna without separation, with complete separation. They used Krishna
We are
completely.
breaking your voice sometimes.
Because this thing is in the upper lower, because this is not really close to me. I close this. So you have to serve Krishna in separation. You have to learn that art, uh, how to serve Krishna in separation. All our acharyas they did serving Krishna in separation. Gopis of Vrindavan they also did seva to Krishna in separation. So if there is difficulties in bhakti, uh, then we must try to understand that that difficulty is coming because Krishna is checking us. Our Krishna is testing us, our tolerance. Krishna is testing us how faithful we are. So sometimes even we are devotees, we may be put into difficulties. But devotee always takes it in a positive side, not in negative side. Oh Krishna, why I am a devotee? Why you are giving me so much difficulties? Uh, that's not true. Uh, Krishna is not putting anyone in difficulties. Uh, but we have our own karma to go through. Uh, it doesn't mean that I become a devotee and I don't have any suffering. No. Sometimes even devotees they also suffer, but they don't blame Krishna. They don't blame God. They blame themselves. Say, oh, this is my past bad karma that I have to suffer like this. But Krishna is so kind that he did not put me in too much suffering where I could not tolerate. At least I'm tolerating. So that he sees Krishna's blessing on the positive way. In this way, he never criticizes Krishna. There are so many incidents in Vrindavan and in the scripture that Krishna, uh, sometimes he would always help the devotees in the last minute. Like Draupadi, when her clothes were uh, about to take them off forcefully by Dushasana from her body, Krishna appeared. She was really calling out for Krishna's help. So Krishna, please help me. I am helpless. My husbands are helpless. Without your shelter, without your mercy, I cannot do anything. After all, she's a woman. What can she do? Uh, Dushasana is a very big, powerful person, very strong. What can she do? She was trying to save herself, but she thought this is impossible. This I cannot do. Uh, then she lifted her two hands and just fully surrendered to Krishna. Said, Krishna, whatever you want my prestige, if you want to make me do whatever you want to do, uh, whatever it happens, he left it up to Krishna. Krishna came and helped Draupadi. He saved her from getting nirbrasta. And by undressing her, it was not possible. They couldn't do it. Duryodhan tried, couldn't do it. And she was just crying to Krishna. She was, as long as they were trying to take saris out of her body, she was just simply raised two hands and just crying to Krishna. She was calling Krishna in different names. And Krishna came and he gave surplus of clothes to save Draupadi. So sometimes, we have to serve Krishna sometimes in separation. Uh, we have to serve, our spiritual mountain of Krishna. Sometimes we have to serve our spiritual master in separation. Uh, because spiritual master is not there. His physically body is not there. He has left. So then we have to serve spiritual master in separation. Because we all, as a disciple, a sincere disciple, will have more love towards their spiritual master. Because he knows the spiritual master is the only way to achieve Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema in the spiritual world. So if he leaves, what's going to happen? This natural thinking should go on in your mind. If you're sincere, it will go on. But the disciple who are sincere, uh, they know the philosophy, they know the teachings, and they have taken control over their mind and senses. So they know that everything will be okay by the mercy of Gauranga. রাধিকার ভাব জৈছে উদ্ধব দর্শনে সেইভাবে মত্ত প্রভু রহে রাত্রি দিনে. Just as Radhika went mad at the sight of Uddhava, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was obsessed by day and night with the madness of separation. Mahaprabhu was completely in madness of separation from Krishna 24 hours. 24 hours he was getting sometimes mad towards Krishna. In the later days, Mahaprabhu did not have any time. He was always chanting. He was eating very little bit prasadam. Uh, and he would always chant in ecstasy. Sometimes he would roll on the ground, sometimes he would clap, sometimes he would laugh like a crazy man. Uh, but this is all beyond our conception. This is all happening in the transcendental world and in this world by Mahaprabhu when he was here. Uh, but this is the job of a great personality, great devotee, or incarnation of Krishna. Others, nobody can do it. So we must surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and try to understand these topics about the mellows, about the spiritual enjoyment that a devotee can derive by chanting the pure names of Krishna. That's the main fundamental understanding. We have to put our whole effort how to chant Hare Krishna purely so that we will be able to uh, gain our spiritual uh, desire. Otherwise, it may take millions of lifetime. You don't know. But if you chant sincerely and with avoiding all the offenses sincerely, then we can make it by one lifetime to the spiritual world. There's no doubt about it. Prabhupada said that. বাৎসল্য আবেশে কইল কোমর সফল গোপন প্রগণ্ড সফল কইল লইয়া সখা বল. Parental affection mad, his childhood fruitful, his boyhood was successful with his friend. This is Mahaprabhu's childhood pastime. Krishna's Guru Goswami describing that it became successful. Yes, Mahaprabhu's childhood pastimes were very, very successful because he was always busy in playing on the ground, or you know, sometimes he would just go away with others, his children, school friends, like that. He would just continue like that. And then in the evening, he would come back and report to his parents, Jagannath Mishra and Sachimata. And by seeing Nimai's beauty, his parents would be so happy, and they remain like that. রাধিকাদি লইয়া কইল রাসাদি বিলাস বাঞ্ছাক ভরি আস্বাদিল রসের নির্যাস. In youth, he stresses the essence of rasa leaf, fulfilling his desires in pastimes like the rasa dance with Srimati Radharani and the other gopis. This is about Krishna. Krishna's Gosha talking about Krishna. How Krishna was enjoying his childhood pastimes. You know, in youth, he was testing the essence of rasa lila, fulfilling his desires in pastimes like the rasa dance. So this is Krishna's desire, and he was fulfilling. Who else can fulfill Krishna's desire except for Krishna? Uh, but there is another personality who can fulfill the desires of Krishna, that is Srimati Radha. That we know. ঐশ্বর বয়স কাম জগত সকল রাসাদি লীলা তিন করি সকল. In his youth, Lord Krishna made all three of his ages and the entire universe successful by his pastimes of Amora's laugh like the rasa dance. Sopi Kaisharo Bayo Manayan Madhusudana Remeti Striratna Kutasta Shapaso Shapita Ita. Lord Madhusudana enjoyed his youth with pastimes on autumn night in the mirrors of the jewel-like milkmaids. Thus he displayed all the misfortune of the Lord. Thus he dispelled all the misfortune of the world. Purport. This is a verse from the Vishnu Purana. Never mentioned verse is from Vishnu Purana. Vacha Shuchita Shara Varatila Pragolo Prayoradika Ira Kunjita Lotana Viro Chayan Grahe Shakinamaso Tadaksharo Chitra Kelimakari Pandita Parangata Vaishara Shafali Karoti Kalayan Kunje Biharang Hari. Lord Krishna made Srimati Radharani close her eyes in shame before her friends by his words relating their uh, amorous activities. On the previous night, then he showed the highest limit of cleverness in drawing pictures of dolphins in various playful sports on her breast. In this way, Lord Hari and his youth successful by performing pastimes in the hut basis of with Sri Radha and her friend. So we stop here. So Srimati Radharani is the Premo Thakurani. She is the Thakurani of Prema, love. Hmm. So Radharani, whatever she does, the way she serves Krishna, no one can compare that. Neither no one can even cook for Krishna. Krishna eats in the Goloka Vrindavan. Krishna is always eating the prasada or bhoga of which is cooked by Srimati Radharani. Radharani was given a benediction by Durvasa Muni that, hey Radha, because you have served me and you have satisfied me, that I give you a benediction that whatever you cook and whoever eats from your hand, they will feel the special taste of your prasadam, where that taste they will not be able to get in any other place. This was a benediction given by Durvasa Muni to Srimati Radharani. And whatever she was doing, whatever she's cooking or whatever she's doing for Krishna, she did very excellently. No one can compare. Uh, so we should pray to Srimati Radharani that we can, at least the Matajis, they can pray to Srimati Radharani that they get some qualities of Radharani and they can use that qualities in the service to Lord Krishna and satisfy him. Every this Radharani has got 25 beautiful qualities of woman. Uh, so the women in this world, they can also have some qualities of Srimati Radharani, very merciful and all beautiful and how to be merciful to other living entities, uh, how to do things in such a way that Krishna will get attracted. Like so many ways can be engaged in the service of Srimati Radharani. Perhaps in ISKCON, there are temples that they have opened Radharani Club. I know in Alachua they have opened a Radharani Club where the young girls of the temple community they become a member of this Radharani Club and they do so many service for the pleasure of the deities. So we should always try to find ways how to serve Krishna with very with intensity. We should try to serve Krishna with intensity, with love, with affection, with love and devotion. Mm. So Radharani is the perfect person to serve Krishna. No one can serve Krishna as perfect as Srimati Radha in this world. I will stop here. If anybody has anything to say, please speak up. I don't give much time today. I have to go. Because tomorrow I have to do Mangaladhar because one of our devotees is not in good condition.
Hare
Okay.
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. So tomorrow again we'll do it. But tomorrow I have to talk to Priyanka Mataji later. Tomorrow maybe the